The Jaguars are now on the clock.
I never sung a single song before. I don't really care where I stand in the winner's circle. Make room for a man from the middle with you. I don't even know how I got to the finish, but don't care, don't make no difference to me. I don't understand what you're saying, only kinda listen. Make room for
The Chargers are now on the clock.
how I got to the finish, but don't care, don't make no difference.
DJ Fresh, DJ Fresh, DJ Fresh.
Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the clock.
California, cause there's no place like California. California,
New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
I got some out in Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met it from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti, I'm hitting gas and Dreddy. Met some killers in Memphis, like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a bought it in Nashville. Then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sun, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga, and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me a Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often, headed right to Austin.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Beats' latest pick.
Successes and failures seem to go hand in hand during a very inconsistent season for him. Leading into his pro day, scouts expressed a great deal of concern over his inability to string together consistent positive performances. Those who attended came away extremely impressed with his raw physical abilities and footwork, feeling that with time and proper coaching, he could develop into a formidable NFL lineman. This pick may not pay immediate dividends, but it's a solid investment in the future of the offensive line.
Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California.
The Colts are now on the clock.
T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Is going down and the weekend's here. Save my soul. I can feel it.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Browns' latest pick.
While he showed potential in school, he turned in one of the weakest performances of the defensive lineman at the All-Star game. Anytime he was on the field, they lost the battle in the trenches, giving up rushing yards and giving the quarterback plenty of time in the pocket. Matt Miller told me he got stood up by any offensive lineman he was matched against, and struggling to get off the block removed him from a lot of plays. He needs to develop some moves if he's going to get by blockers. You can't just rely on strength alone anymore, especially not in the NFL.
Maybe you should bring a friend along.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Shake it, baby, turn that around. I'm like, oh my Lord, the light is going down and the save my soul.
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. Baby, I'm gonna take you down now. Come on, shake it, baby, turn that around. I'm like, oh my Lord, the light is going down and the weekend's here. Save my soul. The Giants are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. Take it up another notch and make it drop it and never take it down. Take it down. 30-something thousand watching, show me something, baby. Who's on, baby? The Panthers are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
All up in my face, you're not from the clique. Give me space, we might ride it. Most say that, baby, they don't love the clique. I thought they love you when you make it. This some mother. Yeah, this some mother. Friends and business don't mix, so I'm brotherless. Trying to get back close, hit them with the stiff. Yeah,
the Raiders are now on the clock.
Just cut the Benz with the 10. You should know, cause in every song I said, yeah, in every song I said, I'm just proud of my accomplishments. I'm a 400, I don't care at all. Have a head on, heard you talking about I'm real, I'm fraud. Your kids and broad, they straight, you shouldn't care.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave.
Yeah.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Slaps on deck for the whole town. On mamas, man, I did it with my own sound. And I got my own city that I hold down. Just admit it already. You got plans to do it, boy, we did it already. Got a couple DMs, I done slid in already. Gotta ask YG if he hit it already. Yeah, I'm a star.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Running up the numbers like Aisha. Yeah, I be sliding, I be creeping. Girls these days, they just don't know how to keep it. But I got it all handled. They try to box me and I got my own angles, yeah. I'ma spend the summer getting to the cake and I'ma wishing wood on every candle. I'm like,
please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave.
If you ain't know me, but you know now. Juicy came through with the
The Buccaneers have made their selection. What can we tell you about them? That's why we have Adam Schefter.
He took an early exit at the combine after suffering what looked like a painful ankle sprain during the vertical jump. Scouts were eager to see what he could do this offseason, but they were left disappointed when he hobbled off the field. I've been told that he's 100% ready to go for rookie minicamp, and now he can breathe a sigh of relief that he's finally been picked.
They don't like me, yelling out 400, they go too heavy. I'm with the posse back at it. Whoa. That mean come on, go on platinum. Whoa. That mean I got
got a Kindle in my mattress. Oh, I got the bitty back bragging.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave.
Oh Lord, it's in my bones, it's in my soul. You're never gonna break me down, oh no. I've got gold running through my veins. One shot, straight to the heart. No, I won't drop. You're never gonna slow me down. I've got the energy.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
You don't gotta believe in me. I know who I wanna be. You don't gotta believe in me. Gotta believe in me. Gotta believe in me. Gotta believe in me. You don't gotta believe in me.
How come nobody's at the podium? That's because both teams are right now working on a trade.
It's in my bones, it's in my soul. You're never gonna take that from me. No, I'm gonna
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
oh, say what you wanna say. I'll do it my way. I'm swimming in a sea of dreams all day. Nobody's gonna hold me underneath. You don't gotta believe in me. I know who I wanna be. You don't gotta believe in me. Gotta believe in me.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Gotta believe in me. I know who I wanna be. You don't
The Giants are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
Used to draw, hard to admit that I used to draw. Portraiture in a human form, doodle of a two-headed unicorn. It was soothing, moving his arm in a fusion of man-made tools and amused from beyond, even if it went.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
For youth to refuse to belong, no-name nuisance, who's in a bedroom, who's in a brand new cuneiform. Barely commune with the horde, got a whole grayscale ungluing his world. Might zone amp to the yap of the magpie, unseen hand dragging his graphite. Cross contour, little bit of backlight, black ink after a Bristol to baptize. You can imagine a rush that ensue when you get three-dimension stuff.
The Packers are now on the clock.
All you could do being trained and observed by a capable few. Back in New York by peeps and a dog in a two-bedroom doing menial jobs. Plus, rhyming and stealing and being a clod. Distractions, freedom, a rod. I left some years of giving a light. I left some will, the spirit away. I let my fears materialize. I let my skills deteriorate. Horn about a thought of what I should have been. Continuing a mission that was rooted in a 20-year affinity and rickety condition with an ID crisis. Snap on the front lawn, look up in the sky. It's shapes falling out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. And now we're colors pouring out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Used to paint, hard to admit that I used to paint. Natural light on a human face, stenciled fire in his roommate's face. It was bloom and addiction, a miss and a push and a pigment. Book like a tattooed pigskin look. Pinhead kids in a minute. Drank Kool-Aid from a tube of acrylic. And I grew up in a linseed oil ever linen. Joy to the poison, voice to the resin. Capture a map of a gesture. Back up, add a little accurate fat to the figure. Redo that, move that inward. Zinc white lightning shoots from his fingers. Studio strewn with a lotion and tinctures. Stay tuned for the spooky adventures. You can imagine the stars that align when a forearm starts foreshortening right. Or a torso hung on a warping spine.
The Brooklyn Beats are now on the clock.
Routine day with a dirt cheap brush. Then a week goes by and it goes untouched. Then 2, then 3, then a month. And the rest of your life to beat yourself up. I left some seasons eager to fall. I left some work to bury your life. I let my means of being dissolve. I let my person curl up and die.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Committed to relinquishing his privacy, aligning with the trials of the anti-Midas. Snap on the back lawn, look up in the sky. It's shapes falling out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. And now we're colors pouring out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings.
Tonight we ain't going out, so we invited everybody. The made, well, they're way too strong, but ain't nobody saying sorry. The speaker's so blown, no one knows what it is, but we keep it on repeat 'cause we don't want it to end. We got the rest of our lives for the rest of our lives. The rest of tonight for
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
we're doing it our way, just acting our age. One day we'll look back, just shaking our heads. But right now we're too fast to slow down just yet. We're doing it our way, just acting our age.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Acting our age. There's people here that I just met, but we're acting like we go back. It's 3 a.m., but we ain't done yet. Trying our best to make it last. Freedom running through us like an open. We're too high on being young and there's still to raise. We've got the rest of our lives for the rest of our lives. And the rest of tonight for whatever feels right. We're
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Of our lives for the rest of our lives. The rest of tonight for whatever feels right. We're doing it our way, just acting our age. One day we'll look back, just shaking our heads. But right now we're too fast.
The Browns are now on the clock.
We're doing it our way, just acting our age. Just acting our age. Just acting our age.
Hold on now. This pick is trading teams.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
You better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we've been putting it.
The Lions are now on the clock.
We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
We gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. We've been on the road, roll from the go. Hit my glow. You know we've been down for too long to give up. Can't go. I need all.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Close like a balls to the wall, can't hold to the ball game over. These boys can't hold me, you boys can't hold us. I told you, better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we've been putting in the hours.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one to doubt us. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
We gon' blow your mind. When I was back home washing them dishes, I was just wishing I could just vision. I was gon' get it. I was on missions. I was just living. Walked in that building. We was just building, taking our time. We was just yielding. We was just chilling away from these haters. Know they be watching like a theater. Yeah. Plotting these niggas.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Delayers. This is what made us. We at Omega. Probably roll. Probably just leave. I see you later. I salute Wega. Cop a new crib. Got some new neighbors. You get this big, they gon' want favors. They gon' want flavors. Probably roll. Hope the Lord save us. Wait from these haters. Hope the Lord save us. Wait from these snakes. Wait from these fakes. Wait, I need breaks. Wait, I need kick. How long can we wait? Come on.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
'Cause we've been putting in the hours. We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one to doubt us.
The Colts are now on the clock.
'Cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
We gon' blow your mind.
This overcut complex new design. I'm tripping over all the time. We try to walk a fragile line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trade.
I will take back what's rightly mine. This is what forsaken fight. We're gonna set this place alight.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
This over-complex new design, I'm tripping over all the time. We try to walk a fragile line. Whatever's left is always wrong. I will take back what's rightly mine. This is what the Satan's fight. We're gonna set this place alive.
The Redskins are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock.
You're sitting on a ghost named altar. Feel the jungle you sound.